Yeah, good evening everyone. First of all, I welcome you all for this AWS Solutions Architect Training Program. In our last class, yes, we were discussing about some of the additional services. Like we spoke about services, if I remember, yes, simple queuing services. We started with queuing service. We learned about the queuing, especially the advantages of queuing, the standard queuing and the FIFO. Uh, and we also learned about basically the default queue, in what way it is a basically a kind of decoupling service. Okay, so we understood about if the any service is going through the queue, it is at least fed. I mean, it at least be serviced once at least. Okay, sometimes it can be duplicate, but the service is basically fetched. Okay, it is fetched. It is basically taken. It is a message oriented API. Okay, so the maximum duration can even be up to 14 days. So we spoke about that, the queuing and of course the polling and all the terminology which is there. Okay, then we also learned about the other services like simple notification services, where you have your notifications sent across to the subscribers. You can have different type of subscribers. Okay, you can create your own notification service, and then you can attach to the services. It can be like to any of that. Earlier we did this notification service for CloudWatch also, and then we also triggered alarms. So these alarms are routed, went through this notification service to the mail ID, right? So we saw about that. And here you can have subscribers like email subscribers or SMS subscribers or even HTTP, or many type of protocols are accepted. So apart from that, we also spoke about SCS, simple email services. Along we understood about notification. Notification are meant for subscribers, but in email you can send bulk emails from your own domain mail ID or from your own mail ID. Yes, we did that on the other day. And then we also learned about SWF, that is workflow services. Even though that is not very important for us, but we understood about what is a workflow service. A workflow service is task oriented, whereas your queuing service is message oriented. This is task oriented. You can have a task A, task B, and then you can establish what we call as a kind of relationship that is called as the decider. The decider will decide what next, like that. So the maximum duration you can have for a task oriented this SWF is up to 1 year. 1 year. So that is mostly used by the developers, especially. And we also learned about a simple use case also, a streaming kind of website which is coming with data. You can have your task A, task B set up by the decider. That is one is basically encryption, the other is DRM. So that's use case I was showing you. So this is all about which we have spoken on the other day, like last class. And then I think, if I remember correctly, we did a couple of what we call as knowledge checks. Two services, I think we did a couple of knowledge checks also. Yes, any questions from any members? Please do let me know. Otherwise, we will move ahead with today's topic. Yes, please. Yeah, if there are no questions, just respond, saying that no questions or something like that. Or everything clear?
No questions.
Okay, Chandan, it's okay.
No questions, sir.
Jiva also no, that's okay.
No questions, sir.
Right. Yes. So thing is that yes, please work across. There are lot of things. We are coming towards conclusion. So my suggestion is that, see, today is August 29th. I think today the C02 exam pattern is closed. Today the C02 exam pattern is closed. So from tomorrow onwards, that is tomorrow is no exam day tomorrow. From September 1st onwards, C03 exam pattern will start. So there can be some changes in the questions basically, but more or less if I show you the C02 and C03, the domain wise curriculum is same. The domain wise curriculum is same, but only thing I can just show you, I'll just share your desktop. I just wanted to tell you what exactly is the new things which are coming across in C03. I just shared my desktop. Can you see this, my shared desktop?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the blueprint of C03. I'll just show you. I just downloaded this one. This is the blueprint. This is C03. Okay, this is into effect from tomorrow onwards. The last date for C03. It is every, I think, 2 years or 3 years. Amazon keeps on changing the exam, the guide, basically the syllabus or contents. But this time there is no major changes which are there. So you should see this one. The domain, the 4 domains which are there, even the exam, multiple choice and multiple response, both of them are same. Both of them are same. You can see all this one, and then exam results. See the domain 1, domain 2, all the 4 domains are exactly the same. These 4 domains, but the percentage has been a little jugglery has done. I'll show you the other one also. Maybe I can tell you, because this is the difference which you need to, since you will be writing exam in C03 only, no more C02. Solutions Architect Blueprint C02. This is the old one. This is the old one. See, this is old one, and this is C03. There are many people who should be. Yeah, I think these are the 4 domains. Someone has given like this. Domain 1 is 30%. Let me check. 26. Yeah, you can see this one. There is a change. Design high performance architectures 24. It has come to 28. Design secure applications architecture, that is 24% is the new one. Design resilient architectures is 26%. So design cost optimized architectures, earlier it was 18, cost optimized it is now 20. There is a small increase. Like that, there is some changes. There is some changes between old and new. But otherwise nothing much, nothing much. So the syllabus, the contents, all the things are more or less similar. See, what is expected is this in this new syllabus is more or less the knowledge configuration. Sorry, not this one. Okay, technical part. VPC and all these things, determining network segments, integrating. Please go through this particular one, knowledge of all these things. Domain wise is also there. See, for this reason, what I have done is, like in sessions 18, I think 18, not 18, 19. Session 19, I think you can go through exam review. Domain wise also is given important notes. See this one? For the people who are especially focusing towards exam, I tell you, domain wise important notes is there. So as I just mentioned that domain 1, domain 2, see we have gone through many contents. So what is each domain? When he mentions the design resilient architectures, so here he tells you what are all the things, what topics are covered really. So I'll just explain you, this will also be helpful for your preparation, exam preparation. So resilient architectures, this chapter will discuss. So I'll just highlight some of the things. To create a reliable and resilient architecture solution, the following practices should be taken. So here he has mentioned, so what are all the topics which are covered? Storage, we spoke about all these things, instant store, okay. We spoke about EBS, we spoke about, see this one, what all topics will come in EBS. Elastic file system, we spoke about that, EFS. We spoke about S3. So these are all related to storage, all these topics will cover, all these topics. Amazon Glacier, initial days we spoke about that. So this is all, fault tolerance also, fault tolerance. So one thing we have not yet covered is well-architected framework, we will be covering very soon. Okay, and also multi-tier, this is all domain 1. So cloud formation, a little bit of Lambda, decoupling mechanisms, I mentioned that, decoupling mechanisms, this is the queuing service, okay, load balancer, ELB, elastic IP. So determining reselling overview, this first domain is over. Now domain 2, design high performant architectures. So what does it include? In this storage itself, you can see about certain things. So it's not only one particular thing will come like that. So in this particular one, resilient, you see this one. What he mentions, high performance. High performance means that you high IOPS and something related to performance, global accelerator, all these things, SSDs. You see this one, all these things comes into the picture. Just go through these topics. So in RDS also, we spoke about Amazon RDS, high performance means what all things will be there. So the differences between, yeah, I'll be speaking about a little bit more about this Aurora also. So we spoke about replicas, we spoke about this vertical performance, DynamoDB. So all these things will come. Caching, two type of caching, mem caching and of course this one. We spoke of caching also. We spoke in the initial days about this CloudFront in the initial days. Still a little bit more. We will be doing this KC also on that. So memcache, Redis also are part of the part. So this is all domain 2. So this one is did high performance architectures. This is domain 3. Secure applications. This is related to security. You see this one. AWS security. IAM is one of the biggest one. And of course, see, go through all this one, principles of least privilege. These are all the terms which I used in IAM, etc. So these all IAM roles, users, policies, identities, federation, VPC also secure. So please go through this one. And the fourth one, last domain is your, still more are there, topics are there, okay. The topic 4 is cost optimization. This one also needs to cover some of the things, but many things are covered already. Compute, cost. Many times I was also showing you the cost calculators. So I was expecting you to go through cost for each and every topics also a little bit. I'm not saying that you need to remember the cost, but at least how to explore the cost also you should know. So topic related to compute, one question will come for costing. So he'll ask you for a person, I think solutions architect want to design a 3-year long term or something, 3-year, which one is the best, lowest possible cost, something like that, A, B, C, D. Okay, upfront, all upfront, partial upfront, or so and so like that. You need to basically understand all those things. Serverless architectures, storage, these are all related to costing. So please work out on all these things. So this book will be helpful for you to understand domain wise and also exam preparation. Please go through this one, domain wise. This is especially meant for you all. Yeah, any questions from all of you in our last class? So many of you mentioned no questions. Right. So let me move ahead for today's topic. We have some more today's topic, but I want to do one of the KC and then we will go ahead with today's topic. So we did KC on 5, KC on 6 we have done, KC on 7 we have done, KC 8 we have done, KC 9 also done, maybe automating, I think KC 10 we will go through. So here in automating, you will have automation of your infrastructure, that is cloud formation. We did that. Beanstalk, also we did that, automated deployments. Let us do this module 10 KC. Please open everyone. Module 10 KC. Please let me know once ready. So the seriousness, please let me know. You have to basically, if you are writing seriously exam, start preparation. The time is not much. And also finish off your what we call is all your KCs, and of course your guided labs, and of course your challenge labs. So you will be eligible only if you complete 70% of all the topics of your guided labs individually. Okay. And again, I tell you, once you get your voucher, 1 year valid. That voucher, you can book your exam at your Pearson Test Center or remotely also. Anything is applicable. Yeah, ready? Module 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Vinay is ready. Vinay, I am seeing a
Yes, sir.
little lesser attendance. Is there any specific reason?
Yes, sir. Actually, last week I had an emergency, but I was following in from WhatsApp.
But you didn't respond anything to me saying
Yeah,
that.
actually, I was not available on the phone also. It was something little emergency.
Okay, okay. Later on, you can put it across.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, ready everyone? I think I heard from Vinay, and of course one I didn't remember.
Ready, sir.
Jiva,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yeah, we are ready.
Ready, sir.
Okay. So let us start this case. So this is related to cloud formation. I think what are some reasons to use automation? This is a generic question. To provision the resources. Select two. Yeah. Lack of version control with manual process. Automation requirement for creating some resources. Alignment with the reliability design principle. Greater expense with manual process. Automation requirement for high availability. Which could be this is quite generic, nothing technical.
Last one.
Hmm? Automation for high availability.
Reliability, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. High
Reliability.
availability.
Why do you choose for automation? Is only for higher availability?
Second one.
No, I don't think it is only not only the
Third
reason.
Huh?
It is one of the reason automation will be a, but
Why
not
do we
only
go for automation? Why?
automation.
Over
Second one is the more.
third one.
greater expense.
Mm,
To reduce
see,
greater expense
looks
with
all
manual.
of them are correct only, but why people first think why should we go?
Because it's reduce the
To avoid
human
manual
factor,
effort.
human
To
and
reduce the
manual
manual effort, I agree.
effort. And we can create
See,
a multiple.
effort is same for the first time. Manual effort only. For automation also, for the first time you need to do manual effort only. Mm.
And
Reliability.
See, I'll still take this particular one. Alignment with the reliability design principle. It will give you higher reliability. Every time whenever you implement automation, you will get the same results. Right, this one. And else. Else. See, immediately greater expense with manual process. Leave it. Automation requirement for higher availability. Automation requirement for creating some resources. No, this can be ruled out. Lack of version control with manual process. Absolutely this one. Manual process doesn't contain version controlling. Automation means that you will have version controlling. So this one is much better than the other two. I'm not against of the others, but I'm against of this one. Okay. Yeah. What is AWS Cloud Formation? Straight answer.
Template describes your infrastructure. Second one.
A template. No. What is it? Cloud Formation is a service, right?
A description of best practices.
I think third one is more
Huh?
a description of best practice for designing in
Best practices for designing AWS implementation. Sorry, no. This is
Fourth one,
not.
sir.
Last one, sir.
It is an AWS service that used to create, model, and manage AWS resources. I agree that it is a service. It's not a template.
Yes.
Let me check. Yeah. Right. What is Cloud Formation Designer? Yes, please. Designer. We saw about the designer. Straight
Graphical
answer.
design interface.
Interface for creating Cloud Formation templates. Absolutely. This is the graphical designer. Absolutely. Let me check. Absolutely. C is the right answer. Okay. Which option is a good way to preview changes before implementing them into AWS Cloud Formation Designer? Right. So this I didn't mention, but still you have an option called as a change set. Create a change set. If you create a change set, you can preview and then implement it. Create
but
a change
that we can do through update also, right? Means if we update something into our infrastructure.
Absolutely, we did that. I think we did that.
Yes,
Updation we
yes.
did. Change part we didn't do. See, the change set will be defined actually. You can preview that.
Okay.
Updation also it will show you the changes.
Correct.
Drift also will show you the changes. Yeah, this is correct. So yeah, fifth one. You want to quickly set up a secure implementation of Amazon FSx for Windows. Today I'll be speaking about FSx for Windows file server that follows AWS best practices. Which solution you should use? See, FSx is nothing but like EFS for Linux, FSx for Windows. It is a file system. FSx is a file system which can be shared across in Windows servers. Remember that one. So you want to quickly set up. How do you do that? FSx for Windows file server, AWS which solution? So use this quick start. I didn't mention about that, but just understand, use this quick start. Quick start will show you basically a fastest way of doing all those things. Means that options will be very less. Okay, quick start to help you to deploy popular technologies. So need not like we did for VPN server, right? Everything done. We didn't do anything like this here also, a partner network. Sixth one, a fleet of EC2 instances require application patches on a regular schedule. Which approach is most efficient? So normally in the IT organizations also, please remember everyone, this is not part of our AWS solutions architect, but still we need to learn this particular one. So I'll tell you, in real time also, if there are 100 systems, you want to patch it. You cannot go to each and every server and do all the patching. Rather than that, what you can do is that you can create a patch bundle and update in systems manager, define all the systems which you want to. It will automatically do. Systems manager is a service. You can push all the things. I mean, all the patch bundle you can create and then you can push it across so that it will deploy in all the servers which you have defined. So normally we do this particular activity of patching and all these things using the systems manager, right? Sixth one is D. So this is mostly used by developers, but still we can also use this one. Oh. What does OpsWorks do? Select 3. This is also not part of us. Solutions architect, it is part of that the third one, operational, this thing. I mean, developer associate or maybe for the other part, but still learning is always good. OpsWork is a service, is a configuration management service. Please remember that. It is a configuration management service. Like I'll just explain, just to listen carefully. Listen carefully. Keep in mute. Shashank. Yeah. OpsWorks is a kind of service. Just listen. You go to a hotel. You go to a hotel. First you sit across the table. Then immediately a person who is called as a server or the bearer will come. What will he give you?
What are any welcome drink?
He'll give you the menu card, right?
Menu card.
Menu card. So based on the menu card, what will you do?
Or something.
You will choose. You will choose. And what is the responsibility of the server?
Provide that
Order.
items which we have chosen.
Take the checklist. Whatever you have ordered, he has to take the checklist. So he'll note down all the things, so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so, quantity, so and so, everything. Then what will you do after taking the checklist?
Prepare all those things.
Sorry?
Prepare all those things in
He
the
will
kitchen.
not prepare. He will not prepare.
Means he pass on to the kitchen area and they will prepare.
So,
Chef
who
will
prepares?
prepare.
So you have ordered the recipes. Who will prepare the recipes?
Chef or
The chef. Chef will prepare. Based on the ingredients and all the things, he prepares the recipe. So there is a cookbook for each and every recipe, yes or no?
yes.
What does the cookbook contains?
Recipes.
How to prepare the recipe?
Yes.
Right? That is there with the, not with the server. It is there with the chef. So based on the cookbook, or whether it is there in his brain or cookbook or whatever it is, he'll prepare the recipe. And then he hands it over. So the users use accordingly, or they'll eat. So this is the process of, right? This is the process of how it is done in a hotel or basically what we call it, in a restaurant or whatever it is. Same thing here also in OpsWorks also. It's a configuration management tool. So here, what you can do is that basically the users, I mean the clients, orders. Oh, I want this. I want PHP application. I want web server. I want Java application. I want so and so. I want web application. So and so. Anything. So what does the server do? You can prepare a server. Okay, server basically takes all the users' requests. So this server basically adds layers, layer. This is all called as a stack. All the layers are like menu book. You had different kind of recipes. This is called as a book, menu book. Same thing. Pile of programs. Maybe layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4. This is one stack. Is this clear, the terminology I am saying? One stack. A stack contains multiple layers. Each layer can have its own application. And every application has its own importance. Is this clear? There can be dependency, there need not be dependency, but all of them are in one stack. So what is the advantage? The biggest advantage is that because it is in a stack, the services are well integrated for the client. In one table he can keep everything, not that in all the other tables he can keep. Same thing here also. So as and when required, all the layers are available. He can switch off, he can switch on, or he can use, or he can pack it, or he can even terminate, or he can add it very easy. And the entire configuration is very well known. Is this clear? This is the kind of OpsWorks. OpsWorks basically defined in that particular way only. It's a complete configuration management tool. So now you see this one. If you go through this question now, what does OpsWorks do? Provides managed chef instances, automates operational tasks across AWS resources, provides managed Kubernetes clusters, automates server configuration deployment and management, provides managed Puppet instances, automates containerized application deployment at a scale. So it provides managed chef instances, absolutely. OpsWorks does this chef instances, okay, that is for sure. Automates operational tasks across AWS resources. Is this the job of OpsWorks? Automation?
No.
No, that doesn't do. Automation is not the job of OpsWorks.
Observer.
It is basically you have done in cloud formation and beanstalk. It doesn't do.
Mhm.
Provides managed Kubernetes clusters. Does it do the clustering? No, it doesn't do
No.
the clustering
No.
part.
Yes.
Okay. Automate server configuration, deployment and management.
Yes.
Yes, this it does.
Yes.
It does. Because once the stack is created, you can automate everything, server configuration, deployment and management. Okay. So provides Puppet managed instances. So leave this one. Puppet is again a type of what we call as an agent-based instance creation. But still, this is also a part of that. Automate containerization application deployment at a scale? No, this doesn't do containerization application. So you can think about A and D is straight. Let me check for E. Puppet instances are similar to your Chef instances only, but here Chef is triggered through OpsWorks. Puppet is also triggered through this OpsWorks. OpsWorks can also understand this Puppet. Puppet is also a DevOps kind of what we call as a service. A service. So if you are really interested to understand about this Puppet, I think I have created a video for that. Puppet, if you want, just explore. This is a part of your DevOps. It's not part of solutions architect. Again, I tell you, but still people are members who wants to learn or who is completely enthusiastic on DevOps. Yes, I have made some special videos in that particular what we call Amazon Web Service itself. Okay, if you want to learn about this Puppet, yes, I have made Puppet. You can see this one, this DevOps, configuring your Puppet master and configuring your Puppet's client or Puppet, workstation or something like that, and how you can manage from the Puppet master, etc. This particular one, about 20. Deployment is also there on AWS. Okay, so but again I say that no compulsory for all of you to learn all these things. Even if you watch or do, because these things may attract a little bit more charges, but still you can do that. These are all implemented perfectly, and I think I have also given this notes also along with that. You can see this one in Drive, which is there.
Hi, my name is Anand. In this demonstration,
So
I
I
will be
just gave
discussing
introduction about this Puppet, and you can see this Puppet notes also is there, how to do all the things, and I have given free of cost. Everyone can learn. So I gave just introduction about this Puppet on AWS and how to create a lab demonstration, Puppet master and Puppet agent. So if you are keen, interested, yes, how this works also, the architecture, everything is also given here. So if you are serious for DevOps, you can use these things, learn one by one. So DevOps is the complete suite of products are there. So still you can learn accordingly. Is this clear? So whether you create this Chef instances or Puppet instances, this OpsWorks will still help you. So A, D and E should be the right answers. Let me check. Yes, it is correct. Is this clear about this, what I was speaking about this Puppet?
Yes, sir.
So Puppet basically, see, you have a server. You want to have something implemented on maybe Puppet agents. You can create an agents for 10 or 15 or 20 to the entire farm. You implement this one, push it. Automatically it connects through the Puppet agent and then it deploys. So this is all called as an automation.
So is it not part of the architectural
No. That's why I was keeping it quiet. Otherwise, I would have a long time taken all these things.
Okay.
Right? So here in questions, they may ask you tits and bits. In questions, these are questions, they may ask you tits and bits. But that doesn't mean that you need to learn everything by hearted. Okay? But still, if you walk through, it will be good for you. Okay? So what is elastic? These questions will come. He will not ask you questions in Puppet. He'll not ask you in OpsWorks, but he'll ask you in Cloud Formation and Beanstalk. That is for sure. Eighth question. What is AWS Elastic Beanstalk? Yeah, tell me.
Second one, sir.
Looks like
Fourth one.
Let me read the second one first. An easy to use service for deploying and scaling web applications and services that are developed with common web development languages and platforms. I fully agree. What is fourth one? A set of tools and services that enable mobile and front end. No, it is only for web applications, not for mobile
Yeah,
and front end.
yeah, that's.
It's only for web applications. I mentioned very clearly the endpoint will be there finally. This is B. Yeah. You see this on Java, .NET, PHP, Node.js, Python, Ruby, Go and Docker with familiar signs of. Okay. So that is only on web browser. You can see Apache, Ignis and Passenger and my IAS. Yeah, ninth one. A company wants to deploy their simple website in AWS. It consists of HTML, server-side PHP code and client-side JavaScript code. Okay, PHP and Java are the engines. So the website must be highly available to global audience. What you can do to provide the simplest method to bring the site online quickly? Yes, tell me.
Cloud formation, I think it must be.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud formation stack that deploy the highly available architecture in a virtual private cloud net. No,
The first
AWS.
one, the load
Very
balance.
simple, right? Very simple. He wants first thing is that online quickly. So
Okay.
website, that's all.
Oh, Beanstalk.
Not
Okay, sorry,
HTML
I
and
missed it.
PHP. You can
Yeah,
do it in
available.
Beanstalk.
Yeah, Beanstalk. Yeah, sorry.
Very
I
simple.
missed it.
Not S3. The VPC, you can do this one, but again you have to deploy all these things.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
this is much faster.
Correct.
Yeah. And the last one. Several on-demand instances must launch at random times and run limited durations. They must have application and packaged configurations that are determined at launch time. Which solution provides the most efficient way to automatically build these instances? Yeah, just now I explained. Packaged configurations, I tell you.
Ops.
Absolutely. Which one?
Ops work.
Observe. Absolutely. Well, anything is packaged, it is observes. So you should understand this on the terminology. Yeah. Automate packaged installation and software configuration at launch time. So I have a video for even for what we call as OpsWorks also. If you want, you can go through that OpsWorks, a small video. See, but that is not free of cost if you want to implement. Okay, where is that? See this one, Amazon Web Service Understanding OpsWorks. So I have created a 10 minutes or 13 minutes video. Please go through this one. I can share those things also. These videos in your WhatsApp group. So here there is a sample code also I have given in GitHub. You can make use of this GitHub and then make use of all these things. This is the code which I was using for preparing this OpsWorks. Right, I think we have done with this module 10 assignments. Yeah, let us do this module 12 also. Module 11 we will take care later, module 12. So we just completed this what we call as SQS, SNS last class. So let us understand about this this one, building decoupling architectures. There are three services as I mentioned: decoupling, SQS, SNS, and Kinesis. I'll explain Kinesis at a later stage. We have still more things which are there. You may not get questions from that, but still we need to understand about Kinesis also in due course. So just let us go through this 12, module 12. Yeah, which statement describes the difference between tightly and loosely coupled architectures? Yeah, I need to understand how did you understand about this coupling? Yes, please.
First one.
Absolutely. Components in a tightly coupled architecture are highly dependent. One-to-one dependency will be there. If there are no dependency, it is called as loosely coupled. Okay. So the first one is the correct answer. Yeah. So the number of dependencies between components determine the level of coupling. So the level of coupling is relatively judgment. An architecture that is considered loosely coupled may be more tightly coupled than even a loosely coupled architecture. Okay, that is the first one. Second one, select three. Which phrases describes the Amazon SQS service? Yeah. SQS. So it doesn't do push notifications. I tell you, please understand, SQS only does pull mechanism. It's not push. It's only a pull mechanism. The notifications are pulled. It's not pushed. That is one.
Email and text messaging. The third one.
Does that do? SQS does this emailing?
That
I
SES.
said that it's a messaging protocol, API. But
Okay.
Yes.
we didn't discuss about email.
Okay.
Second one.
Second one we can say like.
So this is ruled out. Out of these three, still two more are there.
The second
Fourth
one.
one, sir.
Second one, stores and encrypts messages until they are processed and deleted. I take this. Okay. Out of these two, one more. Already I have given one hint.
Unable to decouple an SQL microservice.
It is a decoupling service, right?
Correct. It is decoupling service.
And a serverless applications also. Yes.
Yeah, it is very important. Serverless application.
For all.
Yes,
So it is B, D. Okay. This is LIFO is not there. I didn't see this particular one, but still LIFO is not there. FIFO only is there.
FIFO is there only. Yes.
LIFO is
Simple
not there.
and FIFO. Simple and FIFO.
So yeah, standard and FIFO.
Standard. Sorry, simple. Not
Right.
standard. Correct.
You say okay. Yeah, it is correct. B, D, and E. Again, select two. What scenarios indicate that you should use Amazon SQS standard queue? When should you use standard queue?
Message of tradition.
So in FIFO, you will get only once delivery. In standard, there is no order of delivery.
Correct.
So a message may be delivered once, more than once. You can use this standard. Yeah. What else? Message can be sent in any order. I mentioned right just now. Must be processed only once is FIFO. Okay. Message must be processed in the order they are sent is FIFO. So here he asked for standard. Okay. A fleet of EC2 instances process video that users upload. Which function SQS perform in that application? Yeah. Which function? Okay. See, I mentioned that SQS works in pull function. It doesn't use push function.
Second one.
Yeah, looks like second one only. With the available, yeah. Let me check. Yeah, it is full function only. What is SNS?
Simple notification service. Cost effective, flexible, and scalable email service that enables to develop. Send email from within any application. That is, server.
SNS is not email service, okay? First of all, it is notification services. Email may be one of them, but SES is dedicated for email.
Correct.
Okay.
So second one, because it's a
It's not a serverless event bus also.
Third one.
It is a messaging service. I agree that. It's not serverless event. Okay, it is a messaging service.
It's a fully
So
managed
both,
message.
yeah, which use publish subscribe patterns. Okay, I take that. See, right. Oof, long one. Which are some of the use cases of SNS? Three.
Second.
Okay, notify multiple systems, user input ready for processing. I agree. Trigger a single lambda, hold input, send notifications to mobile, and new software is available.
Fourth one is also.
Huh?
Fourth one is also hold input until it can process in order to it was received. No, not received.
No,
Not yet. No.
it doesn't
Send
do
a
that.
push notification to mobile application when I use it.
Now.
Send this text message to system.
Yeah. I think send a text message to system operators when unusual activity has been detected. Yes, you can use this one. You can write a trigger accordingly. Even I think this one also. Send a push notification to mobile applications when a new software update is available. Whenever updates also available, you can trigger. You can ask for. Yeah, it is correct. So B, E, and F. B, E, and F. Again 3. Which are some of the features for SNS? See, how many questions are there in SNS? Message delivery, recall. I don't think recall is there. Recall is not there in SNS. I mentioned that. Guaranteed message delivery. I don't think so. Message delivery to a URL. Support for encryption.
Yes.
Automation message sorting by time. So message delivery using SQ, say SQ, simple queue. Yes, you can use that. You can use that delivery to an SQS. Okay, that is possible. Message delivery to a URL, you can do that.
Yes.
Supports for encryption, yes, it is available. No, not but automatic messaging, no. Yeah. So what is MQ? MQ is an agent actually, MQ. It is a broker service, messaging. Messaging only, a broker service, agent, which will help you to push the notifications from your source to destination. Is this clear? I didn't mention about that, but please understand this one. It's a broker service, which will ensure from your producer to consumer that in SNS it has successfully sent message broker service. Is this clear? Managed message broking service that makes it easy for setup operate message brokers in the cloud. Okay, what's the good use case for MQ? So naturally, in both ways you can use. Even in on-site to off-site also you use. Mostly people use. So migrating an existing on-premises applications that use Apache MQ to communicate between microservices from one, two different services you can make use. This is the answer, I think, not the other things. Yeah. D. And the last one, two Lambda functions must simultaneously process PDF files while they are uploaded to S3 bucket. The S3 event notification allows one action when the PDF files are uploaded. Which solution provides the simplest and most efficient way to trigger Lambda functions? Yeah, I mentioned this one in one of my earlier classes.
Lambda.
You can use this notification service. So here what he mentions is that two Lambda functions simultaneously process PDF files. So one of the PDF file is there, which is there in the S3 bucket. So S3 notification allows only one notification of the PDF files are uploaded. Which solution provides? It is only notification. How do you get the notifications? It is SNS. Simple. Question is long, but the answer is very simple. Yeah. So this is over, module 12. The KC is over. You can check. This is module 12 is over. So we are left with still module 13 is there, module 14 is there. We will do that simultaneously, slowly, before we complete. And I think module 11 is also there, I think 9, 10 or 11. 11 is also there. This is basically catching. We can do that at a later stage. Right. So that is about these things. We just discussed about couple of what we call as cases, and then I also discussed about something which is something good for you, that is ops works. Good for you. I'm not saying that you may get questions or you may not, but learning, my sincere few cents for you, all of you, learning services is always an added advantage. Don't be only restricted with what solutions architect should learn. See, exam focus, yes, we are doing a lot. But in the outside world and real world, they may ask you, no one will give you question paper based interview questions. They may ask you, generalized they will ask you. So learning is always a never ending what we call as job or never ending process. So start learning more and more. If you face any difficulties, you ask me. And YouTube also I have made specially for you, no need to again what we call as subscribe, okay, to some other channels, or maybe what we call as subscribe to any additional courses to learn. Nothing like that. You can learn on your own. If you face any difficulties, just question me. Difficulties in understanding or something like that, question me. Topics also are highlighted, nutshell kept, etc. No need to read all the bunch of big books. Just go through simplest way I made it. So in that way it will be very helpful for you. Okay, but reading is always good, learning is always good. I'm not saying that you do all the things, but at least watch, prepare your own short notes. That will be very helpful. Yeah. So till now whatever we have done is good, more or less lab oriented. There are many other services which still come into the examination point of view. So those things we cannot do lab because it won't work in two and both of the environments. Okay, again I tell you, from now onwards, whatever labs which are there or whichever topics which are there, so those things will not work on free tier. If you are doing on free tier, you may be charged. It will not work even in sandbox also. Okay, it will not work at all. So in free tier it may work, but charges will be there. So but anyway, topics are more or less similar. The lighter topics only are left. But whatever we have learned till now, the services, especially the labs which we have learned till now, please practice all those things. That is good enough to focus on the other things which are there. So now let us learn about the new topics which are there. And these topics also are part of your examination questions. Okay, so what are all those topics? So I made some important notes. So please go through that in this sessions 18. The new services, it's not C02, it's even in C03 also these new services will work. So what are all the things which are there? The first one which I want to tell you is FSX. You can see all these things, certain things, videos also are there here. Like I tell you, FSX, which is there, global accelerator is there. We spoke about earlier global accelerator, but I'll again speak with certain things. HPC, high performance. ENI already I have covered, elastic network interface. I did the lab also for you, this one. And data sync also, I mentioned about data sync, but still I'll again once again mention about all these things. Okay, so for now, what I do is that this is elastic, what is this, EFS, FSX. I'll just download. You can also watch these videos also, FSX. But remember, this is not free tier. It won't work in free tier, and also it won't work in if you start doing in free tier, you'll be charged for this one. Please remember, you will be charged for this one. Why? I'll tell you. So here, if I see this one, let me go to the sandbox. I don't know. Yeah, I think I already have started here, which is there. What is FSX? Earlier, we learned about what is this EFS, Elastic File System. So, can one of you tell me what is Elastic File System? How it is used? I have given a big diagram, all these things in paintbrush. I hope you all understood. Yes, Chandan.
Source. Yeah, like shareable storage
Yeah.
for Linux machines.
Linux, yes, absolutely. One line, if you ask me, yes, a shareable file system which can be mounted across multiple Linux servers. We call this as EFS, Elastic File System. Yes, Naveen, you want to supplement something?
Deploy and manage the services for the instances from region to region.
That works within the region only. It will not work from region to region.
So manage websites.
No. It is only a shareable file system. What Chandana said is exactly.
We can
And
build.
it is completely pay as you go. How much you pay, how much you use, that much amount only you have to pay. It starts from 0 bytes to
0 byte to 8 EB.
EB. So there's a long duration. Yes, Shashank, you are correct. So it goes up to that. So these are some of the things. Same thing, I tell you, same thing. What you have learnt in EFS, but that is restricted only to Linux servers. Here, Windows. Not only for Windows, there are 4 types of FSX file systems. 4 types of shareable file system. One is for Windows, that is majorly being used. Second one, a shareable file system for your S3 bucket. We never used, right, shareable file system for S3 bucket. You cannot share file system with S3. You can only use S3 and copy that, that's all, but you cannot share the file system. Here you can make use. In FSX, you can have S3 for, FSX for even S3 also. FSX for Windows, FSX for NetApp, FSX for what we call as S3, and FSX for something else is also there. So out of which mostly people use for FSX. So for Windows, we will learn, and FSX for S3 also we use. Okay, I'll just show you. Where is this FSX? Don't launch anything, but you can still go through this one. FSX, fully managed third-party file systems. Amazon FSX, just go through this one. Launch and run rich, highly performant file system with few seconds. So here you see this one. These are 4 types which I was mentioning. FSX for Windows file server, as I mentioned now. FSX for last year. Last year is nothing but S3. Please remember, whenever you hear last year, means that it is for S3. You can share file systems between S3 buckets. S3. Okay, this is the other things for NetApp and ZFS. These 2 are recently been introduced. So suppose if I say create a file system, it will ask out of this 4. You see this one out of this 4. So create a Windows file system, file server. For last year is nothing but S3, ZFS, NetApp. We don't use much, but people may use. These are all third-party file systems. So suppose if I say Windows FSX, see this one, fully managed, highly reliable file storage that accessible over industries server SMB. The protocol in what we call as EFS. What is the protocol which we are using in EFS? Anyone?
TCP.
FTP.
TCP. It was. Hold on.
NFS.
NFS protocol. NFS protocol.
Exactly,
Sorry.
exactly.
Yes.
You should remember all these things.
Yes.
Otherwise,
Yes.
you are lost. So
Yeah,
these
yeah,
are the
sorry.
tricky questions where interviews also will be asked. NFS. So NFS 2049, we mentioned all those things.
Correct.
Here in what we call is in Windows FSX, we use the protocol called as SMB. SMB, server messaging block. Please note down, server messaging block. These are the tricky questions. You will get one question from FSX in the exam. I tell you, this is the part, this is there in the syllabus. We may not do the lab. Again, I'm saying you, we may not, I'm just showing you. So this is the thing. So here you see this one, the protocol, industry standard. We also call this as SMB protocol. Some people also call this as Samba protocol. Both of them are same. Server messaging block, SMB. So most of the Unix professionals, they know as SMB protocol, also as Samba protocol. That file system is also called as Samba file system. So broadly accessible by Windows, Linux and Mac. So this is not exclusive. SMB can be applicable for Windows, Linux as well as Mac. But whereas your NFS is exclusively for Linux, not for Windows at all. Windows doesn't support NFS. Whereas SMB supports everything. Okay. So now I have selected this one. I'll try to see what next. So you see this one, it is asking for a create a file system, same thing. Like I say, maybe I'll say Anand FSX, something like that I am giving. So it is asking for multi-AZ or single AZ. Storage type is SSD or HDD. So I say SSD. Okay, that's okay, leave it whatever it is. So now the storage capacity, here he has mentioned is minimum 32 GB. You see this one? Minimum 32 GB. Maximum is you have in TB. 64 TB. So now our free tier is only up to 30 GB. 32 GB is not under free tier. So that is the reason we can't do this one. Is this clear? Suppose if I select HDD, you see this one, 2 TB is the minimum size. You can't have more than that, less than that. So even if you have HDD or single AZ, you see this one, 32 GB is the minimum one. 32 GB, right? So rest all things are quite common. You can see this one, network file system security, VPC, you can define all your VPC parameters, Windows authentication. Now let me tell you, this one, AD, this type of question also you may need to know. Do anyone aware of this one, Microsoft Active Directory? Microsoft Active Directory.
I heard
Yes,
about
sir. No.
Active
Yes, sir.
Directory, not with Microsoft Active Directory. Usually, it is used for group of users and maintaining their informations, whether it is geographically or kind of like names, IDs, these kind of information, and it is very lightweighted and very useful at the time of any person is onboarding into a organization, something on
Absolutely,
them.
absolutely. No, no, you have covered some of the important things which are there. Absolutely, I agree. Right, right, right. So this is again a very, very. Do you know why Microsoft is rich today? Because of
Yeah.
two things.
Mhm.
He doesn't get much money with your Windows operating system, Windows 10 and 11. He doesn't get much money. He gets more money on Active Directory server.
And Azure also, due to the
That is
Azure,
second.
that is second, right?
These are the two products which he is making money. Today, Microsoft makes money only these two. Desktops and all these things, he doesn't get any peanuts, he doesn't get anything. So let me explain you. So till now, when in the earlier stages, we were deploying Windows servers. So what is the difference between, anyone can tell me a difference between server and desktop? Anyone? So start exploring. Yeah. What is the difference between desktop and server, especially in the Microsoft operating system?
I think desktop is not easy to accessible from anywhere. It is quite difficult because it's follow the remote method invocation methods or something. Instead of a server can be accessible because there will be a IP and it is mapped to the network and
Not a valid answer. You have given, but I didn't get anything. A
Serves
straight question.
multiple
Yeah.
things. Server serves multiple things.
Okay. Something. Yes.
Takes
Proceed.
request and gives response.
Server takes request from the clients and responses. So what type of servers are there? Typically,
Engines.
the basic
IIS.
things is IAS, the web server.
Apache.
Yeah, Apache is not Microsoft
Oh,
product. That
Linux.
is a third party.
For Linux.
IAS is Microsoft product. Yeah, I agree. So server, whenever you define a server, whenever you define a desktop, see desktop is mainly used for end computing. End computing, like your MS Office, your browser, your media player. So those are all end products, desktop. It's not server. This is clear, everyone? So the OS which you are using in your end product, that is your desktop, is something which doesn't contain any server based. It is only end computing. Whereas if you are using server based, the client sends the request to the server, basically server process and then sends it back to the clients. So this is the basic difference. So typically, if I ask you what are all the servers, one is IaaS. I agree that you can have DNS server, you can have DHCP servers, because these are all the product clients requests using some protocol or the other, and then the server replies back. One of the important server which Microsoft makes more profit is Active Directory server. I tell you, Microsoft doesn't make money with IaaS server. He makes money with a lot with AD server. We also call this as Active Directory. So what is that Active Directory? I'll just give, because all of you are already working in industries, or some of you may go into the industry very soon if you are a student. So the first day when you go to the industry, they'll give you a unique ID for you. The first day, your HR people will give you a unique ID, where with that ID only you can log in into your system, and they will tell you, don't disclose password to anyone, neither to your boss, team lead, anyone. If you do that, that will be the last day. Otherwise, they will ask you to get more and more trainings for you, because in industry, password sharing is not at all advisable. So they'll give you an ID which is helpful. Even if you are getting transferred to Chennai, or if you are getting transferred to Mumbai or Noida or any place, still the ID will work. I mean that it is an identity for given to you. So what exactly is being done? So that ID is created in the Microsoft server. It's an Active Directory. Active Directory has set of all what we call as we, uh, we call as objects. We call as objects. Please understand this one, objects. So your user ID is also an object. User ID, group, printer, server, okay, organizational unit, anything. These are all called as objects. So your ID is mapped to the server objects, is created, and then it is mapped, and it is floated across the world. Even if you go to US, or even if you go to some other country where your organization is there, this ID will work. This ID will work because it is completely managed by Active Directory. That is called as the directory tree. So every organization do have an Active Directory tree. If it is not, so as Shashank, I think he has mentioned, like it is a lightweight. It is a lightweight. There are some people relatively to Active Directory, they use a directory services also. Similar, Active Directory is a proprietary word of Microsoft, but directory services is a generic word. Like lightweight, Directory Authentication Protocol, LDAP, or something which is very, very similar to Active Directory. No need to go in depth about that. Just understand that it is an identification service. So without that identification, if anyone is sent to an organization, what happens? They'll create a mess over there. So that fellow will not go there. Someone else will go in his place. So proxies will happen, and then it will be in a mess. So here what happens? He is unique. Wherever he goes, he is identified. His place, working, IP, timing, everything is identified, and he will be paid accordingly whenever he has logged into the desktop or system wherever he is. So this is how this Microsoft authentication, that is the directory server, will play a role. And I am not giving in depth about this directory server. So that is a part of the server administrator's task. But understand that. So this type of Microsoft file servers which are there, which is containing the user data, a huge user data, user access data, user data, profiles data, user authentication data, user roaming profiles data, lot of data will be there. So where do they store all this data? They cannot store in the C drive, right? They cannot store. In a country, in a company, like if you take an IBM or something like that, in India itself, they have more than 1 lakh. Even if you take even HCL or Infosys or anything, more than 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, like that, they have data. And not only the current running, the past people, all those people, data will be there. So where do they keep all those things? They cannot store in 100 GB or 200 GB hard disk or even 1 TB. The data is dynamic, it is growing. So where do they store? They keep in FSX servers, a kind of servers where elasticity will be there. Okay, so this is where the things will really help you. So now I'll just show you. So this is called as AWS managed Active Directory, self-managed. If you have your own directory tree, publish your domain name, maybe ibm.com or hcl.com or whatever it is, capgemini.com, whatever it is. You give that and DNS servers and create your username, passwords, etc. It will join immediately in the tree. It will join immediately in the tree and get it. No, you want to create your own tree, you can create. You can create your own tree. Choose a directory. You can define. If there is no, you have to create your own directory. Directory is a domain name, DN. So once you create that, automatically you can have your file system attached to that particular domain tree, where your data and all the things which will be accessed accordingly. So this is for Amazon FSX for Windows. So whereas if you take this particular one, if I create for last year, this is for S3. Please remember. So I show you this one. These are not free tier services. Again, I say next. So here file system, this is for last year. So here you can see this one, the file system name I can give LUST. Okay, something like that. I'm giving some name, persistent or something like this. Here also you see this one, supported sizes are 1.2 TB and above in increments of, in increments. So if you take HDDs also, they'll charge like that. So that is how it is. 6 TB is minimum size. 6 TB is the minimum increments. Is this clear? I'm not showing you, I'm not creating you here, but this is how it works. Once you create it, it is attached. You can define accordingly. The file system will be there. It can be attached accordingly. So similarly, you have this NetApp and also what is this ZFS is also there. ZFS is also there. So just I have a short video for that. I'll just go through this particular one, some important points which are really helpful, what I have spoken till now. You can even watch this particular one, download, and later on see this particular one. I hope you can hear the voice of this particular one also. You can hear the voice?
Not yet, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So you see this one, there are a couple of things which you should know. Windows FSX for Windows file server and for Lustre. So I'll just highlight, I may not go through the complete video, just go through the highlights of this particular one. So you see this one, this is first one is Amazon FSX for Windows. You can go through this video also, it is available in the sessions 18. So for Windows file server, you see this one, this is one EC2 instance, this is in the region, VPC, within the region only it works. This type of questions are very important. within your VPC. If you want, you can have your VPC. So this is one availability zone. This is another availability zone. AZ1 or AZ2, you can say that. One EC2, another EC2. So this FSX file system can be shared across multiple EC2 instances. Please remember that. This one FSX file system like your EFS. And this one is having your AWS managed Microsoft AD, or you can have your own self-managed Active Directory services. You can either connect from your direct connection or VPN, or from your whatever your on-site or off-site through connections. So here you should remember some important things: SMB protocol, NTFS file systems, or Windows supported file system. This one EC2, Windows, NTFS. We did that in the initial days. Okay, so those are the important things which are there. Please. So just go through this one. I'm just forwarding that. This one is lustre. This one is lustre. You see this one, same diagram, everything. Instead of your Microsoft file system, I mean NTFS file system, we have this S3 bucket you see here. There is an S3 bucket. So you have a lustre file system, you can share it with S3 bucket also. Rest all in this diagram is almost the same. So S3 bucket is, whenever you see lustre, please remember immediately it should come into your brain is S3 bucket. Okay, so that is the most important thing which you should have. Rest all things are same S3.
Okay, the bucket is inside the region. Okay, I thought it was outside the region. Okay.
Sorry? No,
No, I
that
thought the
S3
bucket
bucket
is
doesn't have
outside the
any
region.
region. It is global.
Okay.
Only your VPC, your what we call as EC2 instances has region and VPC, right?
Yeah.
S3 bucket namesake, it will be there in the region, but it can be accessed anywhere, global,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is about Amazon FSX service.
What is
Please
cloud
go through.
busting?
Yeah.
Cloud busting. There was something in the
Right.
previous screen. Cloud busting.
Cloud bursting
Yeah. I mean, in the previous screenshot, like it was mentioned, cloud busting.
in the video.
No, in the presentation, you were showing the cluster.
In this video.
Yeah. You were showing the screenshots, right? Yeah, the next two. Yeah. Use for cloud busting and the very first one on the top. And data
Okay,
migration.
and data migration, bursting. I'm not very sure where we use. See, data migration on-site to off-site. Whenever you are sharing certain things, mainly we use this particular one.
Okay.
Okay, uh, cloud bursting. In what concept he has mentioned, I'm not very sure.
Okay.
But just remember, anything which is there on the EC2, which should be shared to S3 bucket, we use.
Okay.
So that, see, normally what we use, how we use is that you have a huge amount of data, right? 1 TB. You want to share across multiple EC2 instances. How do you do that? In the different regions, not in the different availability zones. So the best way is that you can create a lustre service and then mount across S3 buckets.
Yeah.
So you can use in any, since S3 doesn't have any region, you can use in any part of what we call as of your EC2 instances, any part of your region. Is this clear? So probably that is what he meant to say, cloud bursting and also data migration. So if anyone asks you in the interview, there is one EC2 which is about 100 GB of data. Okay, in one EC2, there is a file system. How do you transfer that to a different region? Two methods are there. One is to take backup and then transfer, but you want to use simultaneously. Then you can use this FSX for Lustre, move it to S3, or maybe mount it across S3. Same thing you can use. The biggest advantage, if you mount across S3, sharing is there. So the same data is available here and also over there. If you take backup and restore, then you may not get the changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will help you. So that is about, please go through some more topics in that. It will be advantage for you. Right. So now I'll also explain about some of the other things which are there. Data sync, which is again very, very important. Data sync. So again, I mentioned on the day when I was speaking about VPC, or no, not VPC. I think when we were doing about this the data backup, Glacier and all those things. So I think also we mentioned during VPC also, data sync is a service where if you want to transfer any data from on-site to off-site at a very, very faster rate. We did this, what is that, um, one service called as Snowball. You remember everyone? Snowball.
Yeah, copying the data from the
Yes,
server
copying the data.
There is a physical device actually,
Is
a
a
physical
physical
device
device.
which is sent to your location. If you want to have a TB of data or maybe a little bit more, 100 TB of data, how will you, without using internet, you can make use using Snowball. But this is another service. If you are having a high speed internet, you can use data sync, right? Data sync. So you have on-site data 100 GB or maybe 10 TB. You are having good bandwidth, maybe 100 Gbps speed. You want to make use. You can establish a data sync. So data sync is an agent basically. What it does, from your source to destination, source you can define your on-site, right? Or on off-site, what you can do, oh, sorry, in your cloud, you want to transfer all these things either to Amazon FSX file system or EFS or S3, anything. You can choose anything. You want to transfer all these things. So this you can set up a data sync agent. You can set up, once the data sync agent is set, start and end is defined, the pipeline is set up, then you start transmitting. Full speed it will go. Full speed it will go. Right? So that is called a data sync. I'll just show you the demonstration on data sync, because one question you may get on data sync. You will not do anything, but still we have to learn about this particular one.
So we use this only for migration purpose, this
Absolutely.
pipeline, or like it only for the
Absolutely.
only for the
Migration must. If you are having good bandwidth, go with data sync.
Okay.
See, if you are not able to, there are two conditions, please understand. So you might be having, but if you cannot sacrifice your bandwidth, please don't use. It should not affect others.
Yeah.
But if it is okay, we can do, oh, during this weekend, if I want to do, I can do that. If others are there. But this is one of the services where people use a lot if you are having good bandwidth. So yeah, I just downloaded that. I'll show you a short video on this data sync. Easy transfer. Terabytes and millions of files. It can go in file mode or even in block mode also. Okay, chuck, 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 in chunks it will go very fast. So the basic advantage is that fast data transfer, easy to use. So this is mainly used from on-site to off-site. on-site to cloud. Okay, 10 times faster than open source tools. Use any other tools. I want to use FTP. Can I get this one? You will get FTP also, but that is not fast. But data sync is much faster. It will use the entire speed, and then it will transfer at a very, very secure way also. Secure means you can do it in an encrypted way. Reliable, fully managed, cost effective. So these are some of the highlighted points which are there. So these presentations are from AWS only. Please go through this.
So is this cost effective or like it will be expensive, right? Dedicated.
Sorry?
This will be, I mean, cost effective or like will it be expensive using that?
There are the charges also are there. I can show you the charges which are there. So if you feel what we call as charges comparatively this snowball is cheaper, then you can go accordingly. See this one. Sometimes some people want, you are having about maybe 50 GB of data. So taking a snowball is costly than this one.
Yeah, not.
And that will take time, right? 2 to 3 days it will take minimum.
Yeah.
But this one, if you are having good time, maybe overnight 50 GB is nothing much. You can get it even 2 to 3 hours also.
Yeah.
Right. So it depends. It depends how much you can afford. Sometimes people want time. People want the things which are there. So, but there is a pricing also. You can see that.
Okay.
We can transfer.
Right.
So using this, we can transfer the data to EBS as well.
Yeah, that's what which I was saying. Whether it is EFS or your S3 or your FSX or I don't think you can transfer to EBS. You have to basically mount across to your local system. If it is shareable only, you can mount, right?
Yes.
How do you mount file systems to your local system? It has to be shared. So this type of service, yeah. So EBS can't be shared directly. EFS can be shared. Even to your local system also you can share, just start your sync. See this video, this is a demonstration, live demonstration also will be there in this. So this is the data sync service, simplifies, automates and accelerates moving data. This is the thing. So there are 3 steps in this one. You can see this one, deploy an agent, that is the first step, create a task and start the transfer. That's all. These are the 3 steps. So first one, let us understand about how to deploy an agent. So then next is that we'll create a task and then see the transfer. You can transfer this one using VPN or maybe a leased line or even that is what direct connect or maybe any other method or VPC. So this is the process of creating the agent.
Yeah, we are not able to hear the audio for the video.
Sorry?
We are not able to hear the audio for the recording.
Oh, just a second. I'll just see why.
Request an activation
Now you are able to hear?
key from the agent. Once I have the activation key, I'll provide a name for my agent and select.
So this is the process which he is explaining about. You have the video also, you can download and later on view thoroughly also. So here this is the first step which he is doing, how to create an agent. So agent activation key is been created, and then it is basically activated. So once this is done, the process of activation of creating the agent.
Create agent to finish. Now that the agent is created, I can set up a task to transfer files from my.
So the second one is to create the task from your source and destination. You need to set up, and then you can start
On-premises NFS system to AWS by selecting Create Task. First, I'll choose to create a new location and specify an NFS location type.
Here you can see this one. These are the three shareable methods should be there. So EFS, FSX, S3 bucket, SMB, any other like that, shareable.
Type for the source.
So the first one he is using NFS, that is your source, local.
I'll select the agent I just created and then provide the IP address of my on-premises NFS server, as well as the path to the files I want to move. Next, I'll create the destination location and choose from Amazon S3, Amazon EFS, or Amazon FSX for Windows File Server. I'll select S3, choose an existing S3 bucket, and provide a prefix that determines where the files will be located in the bucket. Finally, I'll attach a CloudWatch log group to the task and choose detailed monitoring to see individual log records for all the files processed by the task. I'll start.
He has created the second part, that is creating the setting up source and destination. Now he's going to trigger. So that automatically from your on-site to off-site, I mean to NFS to S3 bucket, it gets transferred using this data sync. You see this one once if I press start.
The data transfer task and then wait until it's finished. The duration of the task depends on the number and size of files transferred,
So the files
as well as the available bandwidth. In my case, it takes about 23 minutes.
Here he has a 100 Mbps line, I think, 1 Gbps line. Data throughput is somewhat like 100 megabytes per second. This one, you can see this one. So he has already transferred more than like this within few minutes.
To securely move over 1.5 million files, totaling over 132 gigabytes from
132 GB and 22.
My on-premises NFS server to Amazon S3. I also want to transfer a subset of the files from my NFS storage system to an existing Amazon Elastic file system.
So in the first case, he has demonstrated from NFS to S3. Now he's going to, NFS means on-site, he mentions here. So the second part is that NFS2, again, he's going to show you about EFS, Elastic File System.
To do so, I'll create a new task, this time reusing the existing source location that I created for the previous NFS to S3 task. I can use this same location for as many tasks as I want. Next, I'll indicate that the destination location is an existing EFS file system, and I'll provide the name of an existing subdirectory on the file system as the destination target. I'll give the task a name and use the defaults for the remaining task settings. For this task, I don't want all the files from my NFS server to be transferred. So I'll use a simple include pattern as a filter. Now only files that match this pattern will be moved. I'll start the data transfer task and then wait until it's finished. The duration of this task is significantly shorter than the previous task because I only moved a small subset of the files from my on-premises NFS system. Finally, I want to transfer some of the NFS files to an existing Amazon FSX for Windows file system on a recurring schedule. I'll start by creating a new task, like before, and I'll reuse the existing NFS source location. Next, I'll select an existing FSX file system as the destination location, and I'll provide the mount path on the file system to use as the destination target. I'll also provide the user credentials necessary for data sync to access the FSX server.
That is Windows file server.
To finish creation of the task, I'll specify a recurring schedule for the task to run once an hour. I'll use the defaults for the remaining task settings and indicate that only basic logging be used for this task. When I start the task, I'll use an include pattern to only move a subset of files from my NFS storage. This task will now run once an hour and only move those files that have changed since the previous execution of the task.
See this one?
In this demo, I've shown how AWS Data Sync makes it simple and fast to move large amounts of data online between on-premises storage and AWS. For more information, visit the AWS Data Sync product page.
So I hope this is clear. Some fundamental is enough for you all. Please go through this video of this AWS Data Sync also, which will be very, very helpful. So please, this one, the second one, which I here, Elastic Network Interface, we did the lab also, so no need to go through all these things. So now let me go through this global accelerator. This is also a very small component for you, which is mostly used for high performance oriented topics, which we use global accelerator. So very small one, but still you can go through that. Also, I will show you another one. These both of them are mainly meant for HPC is also meant for high performance computing, mainly for high performance. Okay, especially in a large scale environment, large scale environment. I'll just open this one. Maybe the other components I can discuss.
From engineering and manufacturing firms to research laboratories and academic institutions, organizations of all types have benefited from using Amazon Web Services to run high-performance computing workloads in the cloud. You can create HPC clusters to run electronic design automation software to reduce the cost of creating new products, perform drug analysis to make better medicine, and run simulations to increase the speed of experimentation. The Amazon Web Services Cloud provides virtually unlimited compute and storage capacity on demand, auto-scaling to provision just enough infrastructure as you need it, specialized virtual machines with high-performance processors, and network features designed for high-throughput, low-latency communications. With Amazon Web Services, you can use the HPC tools that you're already familiar with, such as compilers, schedulers, and distributed network file systems. In the cloud, you can increase the pace of scientific and engineering research by removing the heavy lifting of building and tearing down HPC cluster configurations in between jobs. You can automate cluster setups with ease by using AWS's APIs, pre-configured AWS Marketplace solutions, and AWS CloudFormation templates. So instead of adjusting your job to meet the capabilities of a cluster, you can now create the cluster to meet the needs of your job. Amazon Web Services allows you to crunch data quickly and securely. Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud instances have Intel Xeon processors with advanced technologies to accelerate floating point instruction execution, encrypt data for enhanced security, and boost the processor clock rate for peak loads. Additionally, Amazon Web Services provides enhanced networking, which increases the number of packets per second between servers and placement groups to ensure those servers are located as close together as possible, lowering latency and jitter, and providing full bisection 10 gigabits per second bandwidth network, enough to transfer over 4 terabytes of data between each node every hour. Amazon Web Services allows you to get started running HPC jobs at low cost without any upfront capital expense or long-term commitments, and you only pay for what you use. AWS has several purchasing options, so you can match your HPC workload to your payment choices and optimize costs. You can pay for what you use on demand, reserve discounted capacity, and even bid on unused capacity at a fraction of the normal rate. Accelerate your research and innovation by going to aws.amazon.com/HPC to find out more and get started today.
So this is only a generic video, just I was showing you for your terminology understanding. Okay, so HPC is high performance computing. So today we are using many services mainly meant for high performance. So we have seen diversified components. It can be as simple as your EC2 auto scaling, or it can be even anything based on your usage, based on your performance, etc., etc. How you can make use the best, which is defined in this high performance computing. Yeah, any questions? So still more things, topics which are there. We will understand about this global accelerator also a little bit. And most importantly, in our tomorrow's session, please do not miss everyone, the support plans, and of course, there is something which is related to security, very, very important. So we learned only IAM, still more secure services are there. I'll be explaining all the important security. And most important one is the well-architected framework also will be covered tomorrow. So please be think that is very, very important session, tomorrow's one. We will be covering many security services, but nothing will be practical. So please remember, please attend once. Otherwise, reading all the books and all those things will take time. So here interaction, if you have any type of questions, you can ask me immediately. Okay, so I think, yeah, we did 2 of the cases, and then we also learned about FSX, we learned about data sync, we just understood about HPC. Yeah, any other questions? I'll also speak if time permits, not tomorrow. We'll go through this Aurora also. Still more topics are there. Still more, many topics are there. This week is all tidbits topics will be there, but all of them are very important. All of them are very, very important. Smaller ones. We will be learning kinesis. We will also learn about containers. Also this week, I'm telling you, all these things also are highlighted for this week. But most of them are not, we don't have labs for that. Right. Any questions from any members before we sign off for today? We will meet again tomorrow. Yeah, any questions from anyone? I hope everyone understood.
Yeah.
Okay, so go through, I'll share the video recording. Please go through a couple of times, and also the videos which are there in session 18. If you still have questions, do report me. Thank you everyone for your time, and let us catch again tomorrow, same time, evening 6:30. Bye.
Okay, sir. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
yeah. Good night everyone. Yeah, bye.